At the end of the day, I don't want any school to lose a single dollar of funding. I want them to reopen their school and get kids back in the classroom where they belong.
Congressman Jim Banks spoke to Wayne 15 to clarify what he meant by his Reopen Our Schools Act.
Well, first of all, this is about the kids. We're at risk of leaving an entire generation of kids behind if we don't get them back in the classroom and provide them the adequate, far superior education in the classroom than what they would receive if they were left at home learning virtually.
The Reopen Our Schools Act was co-authored by Congressman Jim Banks and states that if a school doesn't reopen their doors in the fall, that school can lose its federal funding. According to the East Allen School Association president, it is egregious for Representative Banks to threaten to withhold money during a time when states are looking to cut education budgets.
So instead of him wasting his time trying to force us to do something according to his timeline, he should be spending his time trying to work to find additional money in stabilization funding for K through 12 education.
Congressman Banks says most of the funding for schools come from state and local taxes, but for the schools who receive federal grants, he questions if the school isn't open, do they really need the funding?
For example, why does a school need a school safety grant if they don't open the doors to their school? And as a congressman, as a taxpayer, as a parent, we have to ask those fundamental questions.
On Wayne 15's Facebook page, many parents commented that they were worried about the safety of their children and the risk of them being exposed to the virus.
I don't want to put any kid in danger, but we can take necessary precautions. Other countries are doing this. Other countries are finding a way to get their kids back in the classroom and haven't seen upticks of COVID-19 cases by doing so.
There is that issue of the inflammatory disease that kids can get. We're seeing younger and younger people being hospitalized. But it's not just the kids. Those kids take it back home to their parents, to their grandparents, to daycares. And then you also have the teachers in the building. It's not just kids teaching kids. You know, there's more than just kids in the building.
Congressman Banks believes that the risk of holding students behind on education is unacceptable, and he says he won't stand for it.
I'm willing to work with any school who reaches out to me and tells me what they need to reopen in the fall